Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Zeku, or as most of the English viewers might pronounce it, Sika. Uh, I am making this video to explain a little bit, or more to make a guide of how to play through the Abyssal Spire and the Abyssal Tower in Genshin Impact. If you want to see how I've done in the game so far, you can check that out over at twitch.tv/seeker93. And without further ado, let's get into the game. Um, yeah. So, as you can see, I'm standing right in front of the Abyssal Tower entrance. This feature becomes unlocked at Adventure Rank 20. My adventure rank right now is 38, and I've seen a lot of people struggle with the Abyssal Tower. Like, I've heard people at adventure rank 38 are still unable to clear the first 8 floors of the Spiral Abyss. So I wanted to make a guide that will hopefully help people clear these first 8 stages, because it's usually not that hard. I'm going to quickly go over my characters here, um, like showing what I got. Some of my characters are quite high already. Like, I got my official more or less maxed out for what I'm doing with her. Same for my Jean, except her artifacts are not the best. I'm using my Genling also as more or less a main DPS. Her artifacts are quite good, but sadly not the perfect stats on them. So I'm using what I got and trying to get the bonus going. I also got my Noelle maxed out quite a bit because I'm using her in my main team. What I'm also using is the main character on Earth. I leveled her to 60. I was trying to ascend her, but I don't quite have the masks yet. I sadly need those for Noelle and Jean as well, so I don't have too many. But level 60 is sufficient. I also don't have a good weapon or any good artifacts on her. These artifacts are all rank 0. You really only need like 2 or maybe 4 good well-equipped characters to do the tower. I also got a Venti, but I don't really use him that much. I only used him early on, and I'm not going to use them for the Abyss either too much. I got a Chongyun with quite a chunky weapon. I didn't level him too much either. I'm mostly using him for the cryo effect. Also, his artifacts are quite low level as well. I wanted to tune him for DPS, but I do not have the materials to do that right now. Other than that, I once tried it with Lisa, but I didn't like it, so I left her at 40. I'm using Bennett quite a bit. I gave him a proper weapon, but I stopped at level 40 as well, because also he's just useful um, for the elemental reactions. I'm not using Amber at all, and I wouldn't recommend anyone doing that. Amber is just useless. Like, she's literally the worst character in the game. All she's good for is lighting torches. And I'm also not using Kea. I don't like him too much. He's only good for some exploration, where he's specifically really good, but other than that, I haven't used him at all. Also, I'm using Barbara a lot in the Spiral Abyss since she's my only water character. But as you can see, I really didn't put too much effort into her. Her weapon is level 1, her artifacts are all rank 1. I just got her to 40 for the simple reason, as you can see, this talent here, um, it's a passive talent. Every character has 2 passive talents. One of them is unlocked at phase 2, and the other is unlocked at Ascension phase 4. To phase 2 you get when you bring a character beyond level 20, and to phase 4 you get after you bring a character beyond level 60. So, um, another thing is, if you can upgrade the skills of your characters you're using the most, you should do that as well, because the upgrade on each skill level, as you can see right here, is quite significant actually. It's like 5 to 10% damage, even for the basic attacks, like 5 to 10% bonus damage on each character's a single hit attack, and that's really a big difference. But I would recommend doing that only on the characters you are mainly focusing on, because this is quite costly. So, as to how to actually approach the Spiral Abyss, the first 3 floors of the Abyss are quite free. They usually have only one big list of enemies. Venti is really helpful here because those are usually very small enemies. They can all be put together with Venti's uh, elemental burst. And again, I would recommend really going for mostly the elemental reactions. But until floor 3, you can just power through with your strongest team usually. As you can see, I'm only lacking the 9 stars on stage 8, floor 8, and that's mostly because floor 8 2 is really hard, and I haven't bothered trying it in the last few days. But the big problem arises on floor 5, I believe. Starting on floor 5, the abyss is split into 2 chambers on every single floor, which means you need not only 4 characters, but starting here you need 8 characters. And the way that works is when you enter the abyss starting on floor 5, you have to, when you press the start button, you have to set up a team for the first half and the second half. And both of these teams share their timer on each respective stage on the floor. And you will get to use these first characters at the start of every stage. And you will beat all the enemies that appear on the stage. And after you've done that, you will instantly switch to your second team, and that will also go to the point where you usually start the trial, and then you will start the trial there with the time you had left from fighting with your first team. And in that regard, they share the timer. And if you look at these stars, it says remaining challenge time longer than 420 seconds for stage floor 5 chamber 1, which means that with both of these floors together, you will have to beat it with above 7 minutes remaining. And that's quite a challenge if you look at it, because you have to beat 2 stages in under 3 minutes. And the trick to that, especially when you have enemies like this Pyro Abyss Mage, is using and abusing the elemental reactions. Because I will go into this right now with my preferred team. I will take a quick look at every floor, as you can see, and I can see like these guys, they have no shields, they have no shields. These guys also, they have all no shields, so they are pretty much free. And in the first half, I see we have these large cryo slimes, which are ice enemies, and they have these helmets. If they have these helmets act as a shield. For the cryo, you don't necessarily need to have a pyro element, because the cryo shields are also damageable with claymores pretty well. So you could technically just use Noel or any character that uses a claymore and get rid of their shields. But for the pyro mages, the pyro shields are quite a hassle to remove. And here it is helpful when you started early after release, because the game gifted you Barbara. And that is mostly why I use Barbara in the Spiral Abyss, because this will help a lot with saving this time. So as I saw, it doesn't really matter what characters I will use here, except for the floor 5 chamber 1 in the second half, because I need to get rid of a pyro shield. So I will just go with this team for now. I use my channeling as main DPS, my Jean more or less as a healer. I'm using Chongyun because I like him in this combination, and I'm using the main character on Geo element, because as you will see during my fight, this will produce a lot of shields, and the shields are really helpful at mitigating damage and being stopping interruptions from attack stuns. Also, I saw there were a lot of cryo slimes, so I'm using Jiangling for the fire element to get rid of those. On the second team, I'm using my Fischl and my Noel because they are my best characters. I'm using my Bennett because Bennett is the best way for me on this combination to trigger elemental reactions with Fischl. And I'm using Barbara, and really only Barbara, just because of the Pyro Mage's shield. As you can see, my level is quite a bit above what the stage will be. So without further ado, I will just go into this now. And hopefully not have a too long loading screen. There we go. At the start of this, I usually look if I'm playing for just the stars. It's important to see how many stars I need on this stage. Like if I had three stars on this stage already, but I only have 2 stars on floor 5, chamber 1. I may need to take a chamber only buff because it scales better on this chamber to be able to get the 3 stars. But unless I really need it, I will most likely just go for the floor buff because that will last over all 3 chambers of the floor. So I would just take the bonus damage with my normal in charge attacks. So, like this, I will start the challenge now. I see there are a lot of ice slimes, cryo slimes. So I'm using the Chongyon skill here, which was not really smart, because now they are immune against my basic attacks. But yeah, I can just focus on the archers instead. And again, now I will show you what I mean with the shields. You see all these crystals lying around here? These were generated from the main character's skill. And when I run close to these shields, to these fragments, I get a shield. And these shields absorb any kind of damage. They're just more potent against especially the one kind they resonated with, which is here mostly lightning or ice. And if I collect these shields and I get hit by an ice attack from these slimes, it will not pretty much, I will just ignore it. So, as you can see, this was pretty free due to the fire element, and I didn't take too much damage either because of the shields. So, what I want to show you now is really important. My Fischl is way over the top equipped. I do a lot of damage, and look just how slow this shield goes off, even with me using my abilities. This takes ages to break this shield. And as I showed you earlier, my Barbara is not equipped at all. So I'm just switching to my Barbara right now. Look what she does to this shield. She just took a chunk, like fourth of this shield, with no effort. And now both shields are down. And like that, I can just ignore these shields. That's how important the elemental reactions are. Imagine if I had tried to bring down these shields just with Fischl. I wouldn't have been able to do it at all. It would have taken like a minute maybe to break these shields, especially with a lower level of a character. But as I showed you at the start, my Barbara was not equipped at all. She literally just destroyed these shields with elemental advantage. And this was just floor 5. I will now break the challenge here because, as I said, the next 2 stages are not too interesting or important. The enemies are quite easy to beat. There are no shields. If you have a Venti, that's really helpful for those later stages. But now I will go to another stage that to me personally was very, very hard, which is the stage with these Fatui skirmishes. Here we have a lot of different elements, and the problem with these guys is if they are in combat for a bit of time, they will start giving themselves a shield. And especially every one of these will give themselves a shield. Like the Cryo Gunner will get a Cryo Shield, the Hydro Gunner will get a Hydro Shield. The regular Skirmisher with no name behind it will have a Lightning Shield. And you have to know all these elemental reactions. We also have a Pyro Slinger who will get a Pyro Shield. We also have the Animal Boxer, but this guy will actually not get a shield. He will put up a shield that blocks attacks, and if you give him any other element to react with, his shield will immediately cancel and he will start to pull you towards him and attack you with the element that you just threw at him. So this guy's shield can be neglected, but he's quite annoying if he's ignored for too long. The last one we have is a Geo Chanter who will get a Geo Shield. But the Geo Shield is not really important because this is usually just broken with a Claymore. So if you see a Geo Chanter in one of these things, you can just put in a character with a Claymore, and that's no problem. So in this stage, I will most likely be able to show you better. Yeah, I will have to go with the same team as earlier. In this combination, I will be able to show you better how important these elemental reactions are. So without further ado, let's go in here. As you can see, I also got 9 stars on this stage. I actually did it with this very combination of characters I'm using right now, I believe. And yeah, I will just go and try to explain things while I'm at it. So here the important thing is I'm trying to get rid of this guy as quickly as possible because the ice guy, water guy will always put up a shield to, not a shield, he will start healing the other people. And yeah, just like that he put his gun up. So this way he now put up his shield. And just like that with the fire element, and he's dead. So again, I'm trying to go for the water elemental guy here because I know he's going to heal up the others if I let him live. And there's no real point in actually trying to focus the other ones. So now I'm just going for the ice dude because I dislike his element a lot. It increases my stamina consumption, and as such will not be able to evade as much or break the or deal as much damage because I cannot cancel my attacks with the dodges. Another thing you saw, the purple guy put up his electro shield right there, but I just switched quickly to Jongyun and used both skills. I didn't even bother targeting him because they are AoE, but as you saw, his shield just died in 2 hits, and as you also saw at the beginning, my Jongyun was not too well equipped. So here I'm going for the fire guy, which is probably not too smart, but yeah, now I'm going to switch to the ice guy. I'm going to pop my Noelle skills, not Barbara. Okay, so use this shield now. I'm going to get rid of it just like that. It literally took 2 hits and he was gone. And going back to my Barbara just because I want to kill him. Okay, so my Barbara skills ran out. Also, I don't like how Oz just doesn't really target properly. I want him to stop hitting, so I will just break his shield right there. I should have gone for the Cryo dude at the beginning already. As I will do now. Yeah. Again, I didn't really play this well, so I got frozen for no reason. So now I have a problem because both of my characters are low. That's also good to have Barbara right here, because this is really helpful to top my characters up with the ultimate if I play it wrong as I did right there. So here now I got the Anemo guy pretty low, and as you can see the shield does nothing. So I'm just going to really cleave him more or less. And he put up a shield again, so just time to kill it. And yeah, just like that, stage 7-1 is done, even with 3 stars remaining. Off to the next chamber we go. This is just repeating on every single chamber of this floor. And yeah. Again, as I said, I'm going to check, do I really need the usually better chamber only buffs? Or will I just try to max out for the 3rd chamber? Again, to me this doesn't really matter right now as I already got 3 stars. But I would guess, since I'm aiming for elemental reactions on this floor, especially for the shields, I will take the elemental mastery. Otherwise, I would probably go, if I just needed 3 stars on this, I would go for the chamber buff with 30% increased attack, because it's really helpful. So again, we have the water guy here, and I know he's going to heal the other one if I ignore him, so I'm just going to do this here. And just like that. So with water shields, my problem is I personally don't... Wait, this is not even the water guy, it's a cryo guy. Oh, this is really bad for me. Yeah, I just got scammed by the game. Because for some reason, I don't know why, my panda just ignored the ice dude. And that was really annoying. As you can see, his shield lasted way too long. He got to get on my nerves with all of his stupid bullshit. So, yeah. This was quite a time loss. The panda targeted the guy that was further away, and I don't see the point of that. And again, I'm using a main character here for these shields, as these will be very helpful. So again, he went for his shield, I'm using the panda, I'm using all my abilities just to get rid of his shield. So this guy used his shield also. And as you can see, he just died in one hit. It just died in one hit because of me using an ice ability with a character that's definitely not equipped for it. So these shields are really, really weak to elemental reactions. And that's pretty much the key to how you can beat these annoying stages. And again, this was quite a fast run, but maybe I fucked up, maybe the game fucked up, I'm not really sure. Also sorry for any bad language. So again, we have the Geodude, he's not going to do much, so I'm going to focus on the fire guy. The Geodude also doesn't really... he doesn't really attack to my knowledge, so there's no point focusing him. And yeah, there he goes. Right before he's dying, he's popping his shield, but Barbara just makes quick work of it. And here I'm taking out Noel, and as you can see, his shield goes down so fast just because I'm attacking him with a Claymore. So there's no need to take in any element to get rid of Geo. So again, I'm just going to aim for the fire guy first here. There's no real point going for the Anemo dude. He's just going to come at me with whatever element I throw at him. And yeah, I just want to get rid of the fire guy. His shield is the most annoying. He's going to deal the most damage if I leave him alone. I'm just going to ignore the Anemo guy because of Noel's shield. There's no real point in me doing anything. And again, now I have free time to take care of this guy. Just hitting him with my most damaging guy, or girl, which is Fischl. And off to the next chamber we go. Again, this is not by any means as free as I may make it look. My characters right now are a bit too geared for this, or too leveled, I guess. This may be very hard if you're like adventure rank 30, not yet 35, but the tricks I was talking about all video are going to be very helpful here. So the last stage on this is maybe even the easiest, since they're not using 5 enemies. You only have to beat 3 enemies on each stage. So I killed him before he used his shield, which is very good. So the Anemo dude is also dead already. So all I have to do is break this shield and keep attacking him. Also, I know I'm not going to use this team anymore after this, because this is the last chamber of this floor. I'm just going to spam all my abilities, and there I misclicked out of my window. Again, now again 3 enemies, and we will be done with this. So the fire dude is also going... No, I made a mistake. I forgot I got no ice character for this, so I have to focus on the Electro dude here. Because if I don't, he will put up a shield I cannot break very easily. So I will have to really focus on him here. And as you can see, now he put up his shield. And I will have a hard time. Oh no, even my Bennett died. Yeah, I will have a really hard time now breaking his shield. Because as you can see, his shield is not taking any damage. It doesn't really react to anything. He takes a lot of reduced damage in the time. So I'm lucky I got him as low as I got him. And now I'm just going to take out the Anemo guy because he's forcing me to dodge a lot. And like this, only the Pyro Slinger is left. And yeah, I can just take him down. And when he's dead, the floor is completed. Again, I made a mistake at the end. I forgot I had no Cryo character in this party. If I had not brought the Skirmisher to a low HP before he popped his shield, this would have possibly gone very wrong, and I may have not made the timer. But yeah, wait. I think I pressed the continue button, which I was not intending to do. So I just continue this with one character so I can actually leave again. The game wouldn't let me leave right there. Yes, abandon challenge, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You have to check the opponents on every stage and especially look out for every kind of enemy that can have a shield, will have a shield, and try to break these shields as good as possible. Stage 8, for example, it already starts with Hydro and Cryo Abyss Mages and Pyro Abyss Mages. For these guys, for the Hydros, you can use Fire, you can use Electro, you can also use Ice and use a Claymore afterwards to give it Shatter. Chongyun is really good at that. For the Cryo Mages, you will need a Fire element to break the shields. For the Pyro, use a water element or these shields will not go down at all. On Chamber 2 in Floor 8 it's really hard because of the Ruin Guards, they're really sturdy. I have not found a special way to beat these real quick. The best way I have found is try to stun them when they're doing the whirling attack. And otherwise just DPS them as much as you can, throw all your elemental reactions at them. And Chamber 3 you have the Regis Vines, Cryo and Pyro. So the chambers will usually have similar elements that you need for the reactions. Like they have the Cryo Abyss Mage on stage 1 here and the Cryo Regis Vine on stage 1 in Chamber 3. So you have to have a fire character for both of these, so it would be stupid not to take a fire character in your first party on floor 8. And you also have the Pyro Regisvine here, which also is vulnerable to water with their shields, just as the Pyro Abyss Mage. So you should take a water character just for the second party, no matter how bad it is. Yeah, as a last tip, I would just say bring a character to Ascension Stage 2. Maybe just bring them to Ascension Stage, yeah, the Ascension Stage 2, which is level 40 to 50. And you need these especially for the first passive talent, sorry. And yeah, these are really helpful on a lot of characters. If you check for visual, that's not quite as useful. You have to combine this with a few of special characters. But if you look at Jean, for Jean, for example, this is really helpful, even if you're not trying to use her too much. But she's a really good healer. So if you have her, you're most likely going to use her. Her passive talent on stage 2, she just has a 50% chance to heal everybody that's alive in the party. Yeah, for Changeling also the range goes up, so it's easier to hit people with the panda. For Noelle, it's an especially really good ability. If you're using Noelle and she's on the bench, if you're using a different character active at that moment and the character goes to below 30%, they will get a shield for 400% of Noelle's death. And since Noelle scales off a lot of death, I built her on mostly death. So this shield is going to absorb at least half the HP a character of me already has when they drop below 30%. So it's basically just a shield that allows them to have their full HP again for quite a duration. Yeah, I'm not going over every character, so thank you everyone if you stayed this long, and I hope I can get you to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. And yeah, I hope this helped everyone to get further to the Spiral Abyss. See you on the next video.